Welcome to another video. Today we are looking at how to break a hypnotic spell if you've been put under and you still feel there is influence coming in, or somehow you are still drawn to that person, or this person is still having some influence in your life and you feel this way. So this video has been inspired by people reaching out with this kind of topic and subject, and so I thought, well, since people seem to have this kind of experiences, what can I do to help you if you are in this kind of position? So number one, when you are in this kind of position, always number one is to come back to yourself. You need to feel your essence. You need to feel where you are at. When it comes to hypnosis and using subconscious triggers, using ways of influencing or even manipulating people, what needs to happen is that you have certain parts or things in you that you have rejected and that are unconscious. And so when they come into consciousness, when you bring them into light of awareness, and they can unravel and you can integrate them inside of you rather than being afraid of them and repressing them, suppressing them, they have no power over you anymore. Which is funny because we are very much afraid of those things having power over us, which makes us resist them and suppress them. But actually, by doing that, we are doing the opposite. We're giving them more power. By not resisting them and bringing them into the light of awareness and letting them dissolve and integrate in ourselves, that's what brings us back into the driver's seat, because there's nothing that we're afraid of anymore. And so there's no way that hypnosis or any kind of unconscious manipulation can hook into that. Especially when it comes to manipulative behavior. Manipulative behavior only really works when we can hook into certain things that are unconscious, certain desires, hidden desires that you have that you don't want to admit to yourself that you have, or certain fears that you have that you don't even want to see those fears. And by having those fears and desires, you can start hooking into them, they can start to be triggered, and you start to be going to a direction that you don't actually want to. This is very commonly used in marketing. Okay, marketing is using this stuff all the time because we as a society, we have a collective shadow, we have collectively suppressed a lot of things, and so we hook into those with certain marketing techniques and get people to buy, even though they don't really need that, or they even want that and maybe realize later it's not quite really right. So the antidote to this is, if you look at marketing, for example, is consciousness. Bringing consciousness and stop being on autopilot. When you're not on autopilot, when you feel, right? You feel someone is doing a certain manipulative technique on you, and you feel, you're like, there's something strange happening here. That's you feeling your inner guidance. That's you feeling your essence. And you, by being aware of that and feeling that, you can start to see how you can just distance yourself from that. Because just because it's happening does not mean you have to execute it. Does not mean you have to buy into it. And by that, it becomes an illusion. You start to see, there's this weird desire for me wanting to buy this, but I don't really want to buy this. Just a minute ago I didn't want, now I feel this desire. And often it is this kind of strong desire, right? It's kind of this needy desire. It's like a kind of a primal thing that starts to overcome you, which is exactly a sign that, hey, wait, instead of going forward, back off, back off, back off. Come back to yourself. Come back to yourself. Your essence, feeling yourself, is the most important thing. And so if you have no practice where you ground yourself in yourself, where you are being present to yourself, where you feel yourself, then I can really highly recommend that you start doing that. Because the more grounded and present you are within yourself, the less you're prone to any kind of influence or things like that, because you know yourself. The more you know yourself, the more powerful you are within yourself. It's that simple. It really is that simple. So you don't have to necessarily see and go to another hypnotist and them doing something to lift the spell. If you want to do that, by all means, you can do that. For me, with this video, the intention is to give you the power in yourself, that you're not thinking you have to get someone else to do it for you, because you don't have to. Because what is overlooked whenever we feel we are under the power of someone is we forget the power that we have in ourselves. You have unlimited power within yourself. You're a creator. You are a being that can create things. You can create whatever you set your mind to. When you have an idea, you implement it, you shape that, you have created that. That is creative power, and you can direct this creative power. So the hypnotic spell only works when you have this kind of illusion and belief that someone else has more power than you. But it's impossible. It is impossible that they have more power than you, because you have the same power, because you are of the same material. You are powerful in the same way because you can create just like the other person. And so the more centered you are in yourself, the more you know yourself, the more you feel yourself, the clearer you are that you're going to listen to yourself. Okay, this is another keyword here, is to listen to yourself rather than to someone else. Listening to yourself, feeling yourself, the less power anyone can have over you. Because you're listening to whom? To yourself, to what's here now. Not to all the thoughts and whatever, to a deeper self. You go deeper than just the thoughts that are rambling on, because the thoughts that are rambling on can also be quite unpleasant, right? They can be thoughts about how you're unworthy and I don't know what. So feeling more your presence, the stillness within you, immediately grounds yourself in your own being. And this kind of influence and power and whatever cannot reach that. Because hypnosis, one aspect of hypnosis, works linguistically. Right? It works with words, which means it attaches to thoughts. But if it's about thoughts, and thoughts hypnotizing us, grounding ourselves in the silence, well, that's not thought. That's silence. And so becoming really present to that silence, we can let go of all those beliefs. And what else is influence or manipulation than having more beliefs about the world? Believing that someone else knows better than you. That someone else's product is going to be this delicious thing that's going to solve your life. If the product is not pointing back to you and helping you, and I'm talking here especially around the more self-improvement coaching kind of industry, don't buy the product. Because you need to be in the driver's seat of your own life. No one else. No guru, no coach, just you. You know best. And that is so liberating. So liberating to know that you can just let go of having to listen to anyone else and listen to your own inner wisdom. This does not mean that you cannot listen to other people. You absolutely can. Sometimes they say something, you can feel its resonance inside of you and it just feels good. You're like, there's something in here for me to learn. Well, listen to that. And sometimes you can feel, that really is not a good vibe for me. It's really not right for me at this moment in time. Don't listen to it. Don't listen to it. So that's really the video I wanted to make for you, so you come back into your power. If you feel you're into some kind of hypnotic influence by someone else, come back to yourself, ground yourself in silence, ground yourself in yourself. Be present to yourself, listen to yourself. You can also look at what are the things that are being hooked at, what's being used, what are the things that you're unconscious of that you have repressed and suppressed and put away. Because the more you become aware of that, the less those things can be used. Because you're aware of them and it plays out in your, in front of you and you're like, I know this. I'm not going to do this anymore. That doesn't serve me. So rather than freaking out, take it as an invitation to grow. Take it as an invitation to bring more awareness into yourself and liberate yourself. So if you like this video, then subscribe, like it, share it, whatever you want to do. I thank you for your attention, and I am looking forward to see you on the next one. Take care.